Namamishwar Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajam Idam Te Mukham Bhojam Avyaktanile Vrintam Kundala Snigdha Rakta Sagopya Mohosumbitam Bimba Raktadhara Me Manasya Virastam Alam Labhyai Namamishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Rasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Namo Devatamo Dharananta Vishnu Prasida Prabhu Tukha Jalabhimagnam Kripadrishti Vrisyati Dirnam Bhatano Ranashama Magnam Adhyakshadreshai Vishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Kuveratmajo Badha Mudhyai Vayadran Tayamochito Bhakti Pajakritacha Tadha Prema Bhaktim Sakhame Prayacha Namokshagrahamaste Damodareha Namamishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Namaste Sudamne Suratiptidhamne Tadyotarayata Vishwasadhamne Namo Radhikaya Tadya Priyaye Namo Nantalilai Devaya Tubhyam Namo Radhikaya Tadya Priyaye Namo Radhikaya Tadya Priyaye Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Damodara Radha Damodara Damodara Radha Damodara Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Radha Raman Bihari Radha Raman Bihari Radhe Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Haribo, Nitai Gaura.
Chaksurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tvajalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah. Yang Prabhajantam Manupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Taruvajuhava Putriti Tanmayataya Taravo Benedos Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munimanotusmi Vihinay Aparadalakshay Chiptasya Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapadyam Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavoivasmi Tavoivasmi Najivami Tambina Iti Tam Nayamam Charanantikam Angashamalim Daranjanivasinam Hridida Saktamabhiramodaram Raskandhaniveshito Jalabhajam Jayamadamodaram Jayamadamodaram. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Shri Srimat Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Shri Srimat Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, to our grandfather Gurus, Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates and to all the associate. Can you check what that sound is? Is it my imagination? Okay. To all the assembled devotees and the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus who are my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti, Vedanta, Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti, Vedanta Ban Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj, Ityadi. Today's a very auspicious day. It's Ekadasi, and Ekadasi Brat Palan Koti Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the followers of Ekadasi, especially all glories to Shri Srimad Bhakti, Madhav, Bhakti Dvait, Madhav Goswami Maharaj, who is the Diksha Guru of Shri Srimad Bhakti, Ballabh Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and all glories to Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj on their disappearance days. So we want to go closest to further. That's the way to get mercy. So who's closest to us of everybody is Srila Bhakti Dvait Madhav Goswami Maharaj. He's a contemporary of my spiritual master, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So I'm not going to start from the beginning of how he joined. We're going to go right in towards the middle of the book. And there are so many pastimes that Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj gives of his glories, which include his teachings, very beneficial for us. But I'm just going to read a few, and the book is here. You can read that during the day at your leisure. So the section that I'm going to is called Serving His Detractors. Shri Srimad Guru Das Babaji Maharaj, a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, used to reside at Sri Chaitanya Mat in Mayapur. Once, when Guru Maharaj was engaged in service of preaching in Nawabganj, a small town near Kolkata, Srila Guru Das Babaji Maharaj, with concealed intentions, cunningly told all the renunciate disciples of Guru Maharaj, "Your Guru Maharaj has sent a message ordering you all to immediately pack your bags and depart for Nawabganj." In the meantime, he said his Guru Maharaj was engaged in service of preaching in Nawabganj. So this Guru Das Babaji, we'll find out what his intentions are in a moment. He said, "Your Guru Maharaj has sent a message ordering you all to immediately go there. He requires the assistance of many devotees to hold a large Nagar Sankirtan festival. After his preaching program there is complete, he will proceed on a long preaching tour to many distant places, and you shall all accompany him." Hearing his words, Sri Bhagavan Das, now Pujapad Bhakti Niketan Turyashrami Maharaj, Pujapad Ashram Maharaj, and many other renunciate disciples of Guru Maharaj, immediately left Mayapur for Navadvip, not too far away. Upon their arrival, Guru Maharaj asked, "Why have you come here? I've not called for you." After hearing the whole story, he realized the truth behind Sri Guru Das's intentions. With all the devotees present, the Nagar Sankirtan was a great success. Later, Guru Maharaj went to Kolkata on his own and arranged for a rented house. He then called for all the devotees who had come to Nawab Ganj, telling them to come and stay with him. There, they were all engaged in service. Sri Gurudas Babaji Maharaj eventually moved to Sri Purushottama Gaudiya Math, the Puri branch of Sri Chaitanya Math, despite the fact that he would often tell people, "I have little faith in the devotees residing in Sri Chaitanya Math." Because of this lack of trust, well, it doesn't quite reveal why he sent them to Nawabganj. But it was Krishna's arrangement, so they had a successful preaching there. Because of a lack of trust, he would give all the donations he received to the disciples of Sri Srimad Bhakti Vilas Gavastinemi Goswami Maharaj for safekeeping. Once, Srila Guru Das Babaji Maharaj underwent eye surgery at the district hospital in Puri. While there, he sent a message through a devotee to Sri Srimad Bhakti Prabhandandi Goswami Maharaj, a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and me, requesting us to meet him. When we arrived at the hospital, he told me, "I'm in need of 2 devotees to stay and look after me while I'm in the hospital. One in the day, one in the night. Please arrange this for me." I thus requested my godbrothers, Sri Lakan Prabhu and Sri Jasoda Jivan Prabhu, to serve him during the day and night, respectively. When I wrote a letter to Guru Maharaj informing him about this matter, he replied, "I'm highly pleased to hear that you're all properly serving Sri Guru Das Babaji Maharaj. Because he's connected with Srila Prabhupada, he is worthy of our service. Please use the resources of our Math to see that all his requirements are met during his stay in the hospital. I am fully aware of the dire financial position of the Puri Math and will be sending you funds very soon." As per the desire of Guru Maharaj, we arranged for Sri Gurudas Babaji prasad from our Math, as well as everything else he required. When Srila Babaji Maharaj was released from the hospital, he didn't go back to the Math. Rather, he expressed his desire to stay with us at our Puri branch. In the Math, a new room with an attached bathroom had recently been built for Sri Srimad Bhakti Hridoy Ban Goswami Maharaj during his attendance of the Sri Vyasa Puja celebration of Srila Prabhupada. We arranged for Srila Guru Das Babaji to stay in that very room. After the surgery, he was prescribed black glasses, which made it difficult for him to see. Once, while honoring prasad in the Math, he came across Sri Bhagavan Das, but because his black glasses obscured his vision, he couldn't make out who it was in front of him. So he asked, "Who are you?" And Bhagavan Das replied, "I'm the very same Bhagavan Das whom you cunningly, here it comes, who you cunningly drove out of Srivas Angam in Mayapur." Hearing his harsh words, Srila Bhakti Babaji Maharaj turned to Sri Srimad Bhakti Prabhandandi Goswami Maharaj and said, "Just see how bitterly this brahmachari is speaking to me. Madhav Maharaj would never use such words." Srila Dandi Goswami Maharaj replied, "Babaji Maharaj, it is certainly true that Sri Madhav Maharaj would never speak in such a manner. He is a pure, realized Vaishnava. But there's a gulf of difference between his position and that of Bhagavan Das. And the position, why do you expect there not to be a visible difference in their words as well? Moreover, Bhagavan Das has not said anything untrue. The import of this narration is that whenever the opportunity presented itself, Guru Maharaj eagerly rendered service even to those who were against him. He served such persons not only on his own, but he engaged his disciples in doing the same. So, what is the teaching here? Not being revengeful, but rather being like that king whose eyes were lost. One eye was lost because the children were throwing rocks at the mango tree, and the mango tree was returning mango fruits. And that's how the king was. Oh, give him a portion of my kingdom. So that's how Srila Bhakti Dwight Madhav Maharaj was. Okay, the next section. We make mendicants, not businessmen. Guru Maharaj acquired land in Sridham Mayapur for the purpose of establishing a branch of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. Oh, we were there. That's where we left to go to Delhi, isn't it? To be with Maharaj. In those times, land was very expensive. One man, Sri Ram Narayan of Bhojan Nagar, was greatly devoted to Guru Maharaj, and he had rendered immense service for the Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Calcutta. When he saw the land Guru Maharaj had acquired in Mayapur, he told Guru Maharaj, "If you were to kindly allow me, I would enroll a few persons as members of your math and charge them a responsible membership fee. In this way, we would raise funds for the construction and maintenance of the math. Additionally, the soil of this land is highly suitable for making bricks. Moreover, regardless of how much soil you use, the soil will always be replenished when the Ganga floods during the rainy season. If you allow me to establish a brick factory here, once you lay the foundation stone, I could arrange for the workforce and whatever else would be required. You would only have to appoint one person to sit at the cash counter and manage the accounting. Profits made from the brick factory could be used to initially construct the boundary walls. Later, the deity room, temple hall, and devotees' residences could all be very easily constructed without the need to seek out any donations." In response, Guru Maharaj said, "While your proposal is certainly excellent for making a poor man rich, it will not be possible for me to accept it. Our mission is to turn rich persons into mendicants and to provide all spiritual seekers who have taken shelter in the mat with an opportunity to become completely dependent upon Sri Krishna and thereby become a kinchan." A kinchan means he has no property except for Krishna. Though a kinchan is generally taken to mean without possessions, here a means Krishna and kinchan means wealth. So his only wealth is Krishna. In other words, we aim to enable such persons to accept Sri Krishna as their only wealth and to strengthen their character most appropriately by instilling in them the inclination to perform nirgun bhakti. And nirgun bhiksha, or begging alms, not as an act of enjoyment performed under the influence of the modes of nature, but for the sole purpose of keeping the body connected with the soul, so that one may continue performing service to Bhagavan and his devotees. It is not our objective to lead them to the endless journey of material karma by making them dependent on some property, guest house, or any other business, thus nourishing their false pride of being the doer. Currently, we are directly witnessing and experiencing the reason Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave the instructions that Vaishnavas should not construct mutts or temples. The opulence of such institutions will always attract persons who join with the intention to enjoy sense gratification. Instead of diminishing their sense enjoyment, it only strengthens more and more as time passes. Despite this, Srila Prabhupada established many mutts because he fully understood the true innermost desire of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Prabhupada said, "We will build mutts and temples in order to provide all those who desire to engage in bhakti with an opportunity to serve and hear the pure message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even if only a couple such persons are inclined to join, our mission will be successful." Following these words, we too have begun constructing mutts. Then he continued, Srila Prabhupada forewarned, a storm is approaching the Gaudiya Mutt. Remember you weren't there, it was 1995, when the GBC were figuring out in their yearly Mayapur meeting what to do, how to build the cat. So Gurudev said, a wind is coming up from Mayapur, and you could feel like there was like a stormy, eerie wind in Vrindavan, in the guest house and outside. So, a storm is approaching in the Gaudiya Mutt. Although an empty husk externally appears similar to paddy, it is devoid of grain and shall therefore always be useless. However, the actual paddy, that is, the true followers of the Mutt, shall reach far and wide and lead to the growth and expansion of the Gaudiya Mutt, thus resulting in topmost welfare for all the people. Never, under any circumstance, become unenthusiastic or fearful in your performance of Hari Bhajan and your chanting of Hari Nam. Although disturbances may come and sense enjoyers may remain attached to the objects of their senses, those who sincerely desire to perform bhajan shall make use of the opportunity provided in the Mutt to associate with sadhus and thus progress on the path of bhakti. Therefore, this is still a quote, to the extent feasible, we should refrain from the hostile act of providing others with easy access to sense gratification. Hostile. The next section is gently correcting his disciples. Guru Maharaj had great taste for hearing Hari Katha. Wherever he stayed, he would organize programs and invite many of his godbrothers to speak. He would not only listen to their Hari Katha himself, but would also encourage others to take advantage of the rare opportunity of hearing such discourses. He would also listen very attentively when his disciples would speak Hari Katha. If someone among them explained a Siddhanta appropriately, he would praise them. And if someone's explanation of a Siddhanta was erroneous, he would privately call them and correct the mistake with love and affection. Once my godbrother, Sri Gauranga Prasad Brahmachari, now Bhakti Saurabh Acharya Maharaj, mentioned a verse in his Hari Katha. Bhaktistu Bhagavata Bhakti Sangena Parijayate Satsanga Labhyate Punbir Sukritai Purva Sanskritai. That's from the Brihad Naradiya Purana, 433. Bhakti is awakened by association with the devotees of Bhagavan. The association of Shuddha Bhaktas is attained only by the previous accumulation of spiritually pious activities. He defined the term Sukritai Purva Sanskritai as Sukriti accumulated from the activities of previous births. Guru Maharaj heard this explanation from his courtyard. Later he called for him and asked, "Does this mean that one cannot attain sadhu sangha as a result of the Sukriti accumulated in this very lifetime?" No, it does not mean this. He certainly can attain it. Therefore, the term Sukritai Purva Sanskritai in this verse means previously earned Sukriti, and not earned from previous births. Get the difference? Get the difference? Get the difference?
No.
I don't believe you.
I didn't. No, you mean you're saying there's a difference that it's previously earned in this life, but not previously earned in past lives?
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
Previously doesn't have to be from a past life. Purva. Then the next section is serving by helping others serve. Guru Maharaj would often tell his sevaks, many of you, so sometimes we want to be forward and do the thing and get the credit. But Prabhupada used to love, I remember Ramaswara, my godbrother, he used to always introduce others to Prabhupada and say what they're doing. Guru Maharaj would often tell his sevaks, many of you are highly qualified to perform a great many services. Although you are all individually capable of serving Sri Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas, still, engaging others in service is much more significant than serving alone. By engaging others in service according to their individual capacities, you are helping them progress in Hari Bhakti. This is the best means of bestowing true honor upon others. When a sevak is able to engage others in this way, it assists him in chanting Harinam with a pure heart. You better make like 50 disciples. And one more. A few principles of life in the mutt. Guru Maharaj would often tell the mutt in charge, you should provide all newcomers with a special opportunity to engage in Shravan and Kirtan. Although it is essential for all residents to daily serve the Bhagavatam through the media of Shravana and Kirtan, it is the senior residents who should attend to any services that might need attention during the time of Harikatha. In other words, let them hear rather than us, if push comes to shove and something has to be done immediately. We should not engage newcomers in such services so that we may then sit for Harikatha. Instead, we should provide them with the opportunity to hear. However, if a devotee avoids hearing on the pretext of performing other important services and instead wastes his time in mundane talks or unnecessarily going here and there, then he will be at fault. Also, only senior devotees should collect funds for the mutt, because those who are not completely fixed in the path of bhajan will attain greater benefit by performing services other than this. However, if it is absolutely necessary, at least 2 devotees should go for a collection whenever feasible, but they should remain together while they're out, because the misfortune of becoming snared in the net of Maya can happen any time one gets outside the mud alone. So I think we'll end here. Huh? Yeah, he's known as volcanic. Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave him the name volcanic energy because where other God brothers stopped, that's all I can do. That was his starting point. When he got more, when things got rough, that was his point of increased enthusiasm.
Wasn't that because of the pastime he had with Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, where they were out, I think they were trying to collect money and they hadn't collected anything, and then he said, no, now it's time to start.
You take the mic, it's behind you.
When he was finishing his parikrama and there was so much to do, he was finalizing paying everyone and taking care of the bills and everything, and there was all the God brothers were like gathering at that day at, I can't remember whose mat, and then someone, I think it was maybe Yabra Maharaj, said, oh, maybe you shouldn't take on so much then, because he came late. And then Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj said that where we stop, he's just beginning, because he has volcanic energy like Kresher Pandit. And then also another time when they were trying to get the land of where Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was born, and no one could get it, and then Bhaktivedanta Maharaj was able to procure it. And that is now Shri Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat.
Good. I'll just read one more. Because it's a very curious title. Using even pockets in the service of the Vaishnavas. Seeing that Guru Maharaj and Sri Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj did not wear a kurta, I too stopped wearing one. One day Guru Maharaj handed me his glasses case and said, keep this in the pocket of your kurta. I mentioned, I stopped wearing kurtas because I observed that both you and Srila Puri Goswami Maharaj don't wear them. Oh, so you too have become a sadhu? Guru Maharaj smilingly said, merely imitating the Vaishnavas will not suffice. We must imbibe their conduct only after understanding the deep import behind it. Those who perform service should always keep a pen and a notebook and be ready. Because you are in the association of Vaishnavas, you should always remain alert to service opportunities. Although due to their nature, Vaishnavas may not directly ask anything from you, you are still expected to perceive any needs they may have and act accordingly. Always wear a kurta that has pockets so that you do not miss an opportunity to serve. Since that time, I have always been careful to follow his instruction by wearing a kurta. Okay, so we're going to end here. Can you all come back with what you heard from Srila Maharaj? Any pastime with the mic? Can I have that Navadvip Parikrama book? Yes, Karaguruji Prabhu.
We heard an explanation that we are not making businessmen, but we are making mendicants. And on the appraisal to Srila Maharaj, for a great opportunity, a businessman was going to help him establish the mott in so many ways, build a brick factory, hire people to do labor in the mott. Maharaj said, actually, I can't take this offer because it would be going against the principles of Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada that are saying that the mott is allowing the opportunity for those who want to take shelter of it to become akinchana, which means their only wealth is Krishna, and not increasing the opulent facility of the mott to allow for the continued sense gratification.
Good, good. Any other, Vasanti?
I have one that I had a question.
Loud?
Okay. We heard that we should not perform the hostile act of providing others for a platform for sense gratification. And so that kind of related to what he said. But then I have a question about how we can show temple life and everything as an attractive thing. It's because I heard from someone that actually people avoid staying sometimes because it just seems too austere and difficult, and then it's not then they don't give it a chance or they don't have the experience. And then I also heard from a senior Vaishnavi.
I'm sorry, I missed the last one.
It just doesn't. How can we present kind of temple life or spiritual life as something nice, and because we want to attract people, but it says to also not provide a platform for sense gratification, which we don't, but how can we present it as something that's enjoyable? If it's too austere, then nobody wants to engage, really. And also I heard from a senior Vaishnavi that actually in spiritual life we should be having, it should be more fun, it should be more enjoyable, because otherwise it will be hard for many to last and want to go back into material life. So that's my question. How
It means not overdoing it. Here's a way you can make some money. You can work in our factory, and then you could also make some money, and over opulent eating, like having an Anakut festival every day. It's over the top. And men and women mixing freely. Anything that would make one want to enjoy sense gratification, which doesn't have anything to do with Krishna Bhakti. You can go to the movies today to give you variety. You can go to a Karmi movie today, but to show movies about Krishna, that's giving them enjoyment, but it's in relation to Krishna. Does that help? And we want the rooms to be nice and clean and neat, but we don't need to have, golden faucets in the bathrooms. You know what I mean? If it's neat and clean and not shabby cloth, then that's happiness, and they can enjoy happiness even in the semi-austere condition of the temple. Does that make sense? I mean, you get the most opulent foodstuffs anyway. Is that good? Huh?
The idea of hostility, like how do we make sure that we're not being hostile, and at the same time, like,
Hostile means what I just said, of overdoing it with them. It seems nice, just like on an airplane, the stewardess doesn't come over to you hostile, but she serves you meat. That's hostility. Get the difference? All right, so Srila Bhakti Dwight Madhav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Ho. So now we are approaching the lotus feet of Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who is the Diksha Guru of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and the student of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He used to reside in Braj first, in practically every single holy place. And then at the end of his life, in the last years, he moved down to Navadvip because he said that Navadvip is more merciful than, you heard this morning, more merciful than Vrindavan, because Navadvip doesn't consider offenses, whereas Vrindavan does. And if you're offensive, it'll kick you out. Vrindavan will kick you out or not give you advancement or give you obstacles in your bhakti. But Navadvip won't, just like Mahaprabhu's name is more merciful. So if we chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya first, then we get purified because we didn't need the qualification to chant. So from them we get the qualification to chant the holy name of Krishna. But Gurudev said that his real motive was to get the Sangha of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So when he was in Navadvip, he performed bhajan in the mood of great separation, as you can see from that kirtan, Kotai Go Premamai, great separation from Krishna and Radha. To escape the association of materialistic sense enjoyers, he hid in an abandoned latrine built by the government. And Gurudev told several pastimes. One is that some young man came and said he wanted to follow his instructions and be like him, but he couldn't. It was too austere. So he went away, and later on he came back with a young wife. And he said, "So now we're married, so please bless us." He wanted, obviously, the blessings of sense enjoyment with the wife. But instead, Babaji Maharaj said, he introduced her, "She is Krishna Dasi, and I am Krishna Das. And we will be together, so please bless us." "Oh, she is Krishna Dasi? Then never engage her in your service. Always engage in her service. Do puja to her, cook for her, and so on." So the man immediately grabbed her and ran away. Another man came, secretly desiring material opulence, wealth, fame, and so on, beautiful children, beautiful wife. And he said, "Oh, Babaji Maharaj, please give me your mercy." Again and again. So Babaji Maharaj was wearing a kopin at the time. He pulled it off. That means he became naked. Pulled it off, handed it to the man, and said, "Here is my mercy. Take my mercy. Don't go for sense gratification. Become a mendicant like me and be fully absorbed absorbed in bhajan. So the man immediately, how do you say it, put his feet on his head and ran. So he was tired of that, people coming for material blessings. And so he hid in a latrine that smelt very bad, as they do in India, built by the municipality of Navadvip. He didn't open the door for anyone, not even the district judge and police superintendent who came to see him because they had a desire to build a nice bhajan kuti for him. But he did open it for my worshipful Gurudev, Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. At first he wasn't going to, but then when Param Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, called out that we are the recipients of the mercy of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then he immediately opened it. I think he also came with his aunt. And they had some discussion. His aunt's name was Vinod. His name was Vinod Bihari. And he came with his auntie, who I forgot her name. Huh? Yes, Sarojini, Janini, something like that. Anyway, so they had some discussion, and he said, now I am personally taking away all your obstacles. And then Gurudev said, so his Guru Maharaj used to say that whatever success he had in preaching was due to this blessing of Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So when he opened the door, he instructed Param Gurudev to perform pure bhajan. And then Gurudev was telling about his own life. Because of his severe renunciation, he never begged anything. And so when he got hungry, he would eat the clay of Vrindavan, and that made him blind. But although materialistic people thought of him as blind, and he could neither read nor write, his wealth was in his bhajan. And also, even though he was blind, he daily crossed the Ganga while loudly chanting the holy name to go to Swananda Sukara Kunj and visit Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And once, it was this was about 2000, 2001 in Holland, and Gurudev was criticizing the Sahajiya Babajis, they would dress like a renunciate, but they would engage in promiscuous activities. And so one day, Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj came to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur dressed lavishly, like a lavish businessman. And he was surprised, why are you dressing like that? He said, because I don't want to identify with the Sahajiya Babajis, who look like renunciants but aren't. I don't want anybody to think that I'm one of them. So he'd always come to hear Hari Katha from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And with his own hands, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada put him in samadhi. In accordance with the prescribed rules of in the Sanskar Deepika of Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, which tells how to observe everything: initiation, accepting a guru, accepting a disciple, accepting sannyas, taking samadhi. Everything is there. Then after some time, the Ganga flooded. As you know, it changes the land placement. So Srila Saraswati Thakur moved his samadhi and re-established it on the bank of Radhakund and Shamakund, mostly on the bank of Radhakund, in the Chaitanya Mutt in Mayapur. That's the first mutt. When we say our Jayadwani, we say Sri Chaitanya Mutt Ki Jai, Ora Ananya Sakamat Samua Ki Jai. Means that all the other mutts of Gaudiya Mutt are branches of that original mutt, including us. So Srila Gorkish, oh yeah, well, there was one time, and I heard this from him many years ago, and today I heard it in Hindi, so I'm not Bengali, so I'm not sure I'm getting all the details right. But there was a lady, and the lady was passing by, and she noticed that a snake had tasted the milk in his milk pot that he was going to drink from. And she kept calling out to him, "Don't drink that milk, Babaji. A snake has tasted it. It's poison now." And he didn't pay any attention to her. And she got closer and said it again. And then finally, she got frustrated that he wasn't paying any attention. And then finally said to her, "I'd rather die from the snake bird than get contaminated by a woman coming close to me." Okay. What? The eggplant? Can you help me with that? Yeah, he ordered. Oh, was that Bhaktivinoda Thakur who ordered?
I thought it was
Oh, Jagannath
Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj.
Das Babaji. So, yeah, you're right. It wasn't Gorgishore, because he would only instruct people to sit down and do bhajan. Don't go home. Stay with me, and then they run away. So that answers her question about we don't want to give them too much austerity at the beginning, or for a long, long time, till a person is ready. Okay, so we'll end here. And as Gurudev said when he ended his class, there's so many more pastimes to tell, but time is short. So we'll end here, and there is a book that's just about his pastimes. I'm sure we have it somewhere here. Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj Tirubhav Titi Mahamotsav Ki Jai. And now we're going to just a couple of holy places today, because there's only a few days left. Today, Vasanti marks the first day of Bhishma Panchak, right? You can fast for these 5 days and really make up for any deviations, or you can strictly follow all the principles and niyam sevas of Kartik. Like if you got mad at somebody, then we want to be really good these next 5 days. Pointed the finger, blamed, all of the above. Lied, didn't go on parikrama, ate the wrong thing, not following Chaturmas. So now we're going to Uchigam. Were you there yet? So it's all our first time this Kartik. We're going to Uchigam, which is a very holy place. Panda, are you going to help us out? Pandaji? Are you going to help us out today? Is the live stream facing? Okay. But am I tiny? Okay. If we could zoom in, it's a little bit. All right, so we have just come to Uchigaon. And fortunately, we're full of energy because we have a bit of a stairway up. This is the village of Sri Lalita Devi. It's only 1 mile west of Varsana, so it's visited on the Varsana Parikrama. Braj Bhakti Vilas. Braj Bhakti Vilas quotes the Vishnu Rahasya, which describes this place. 298. Which describes this place as follows. Nearby, in Uchigaon, so let's go up the stairs to Lalita Devi's abode. And it's good to sing Lalita Devi Astakam on this day in this village. So we find here Saki Giri Parvat. It's a little hill on which there's a Pishalini Shila, a stone slide. Lalita Vivaha Mandap, the wedding pavilion of Lalita, and Saki Koop are situated here. Also nearby are Triveni Koop, the confluence of 3 different rivers in this well. A Ras Mandala, a deity of Dauji, in a kunj of thorny bushes. Gopi Puskarini, Dehakund. Have you been to Dehakund? Okay, very interesting place. And other pastime places. And we can see the little hill here. We can offer our obeisances, roll in the dust here. I think I mentioned that when we were on parikrama with Gurudev, there were many places that were kind of deserty, and the bushes there were kind of deserty bushes. So I asked, why doesn't anybody make the place beautiful, gardeny? And Gurudev said, because then you would get caught up in the garden. But when it's like this, deserty, then you feel separation. So let's offer our obeisances here, and we'll close by singing Lalita Devi Astak. A meeting at 12:30. Okay. Okay. So Lalita and other Sakis, being attracted and enamored by Brajendra Nandan Sri Krishna's qualities as a hero, such as Dira Lalit, enjoyed Ras and various other pastimes with him around and top of this hill. And we sat on this hill with Gurudev. He was just sitting there on the hill with everybody else. For example, there is a stone slide which the gopis used to slide down. It's called Pishalani Shila, and a Chitra Shila lower on Saki Giri Parvat. So Chitra, because Chitra is an artist, and Chitra also means like wonderful, astonishing varieties. So you can see on this Chitra Shila, you can see all the sparkling jewel-like designs on it. The stone slide is situated on Sakigiri Parvat. You can all touch it if you want. And is adjacent to Lalita Vivaha Stal. Lalita and other Sakis used to slide here. Even today, one can see the mark of the slide on the hill, as well as markings of red lac even now, 5,000 years later, because the gopis wore red lac on their feet. You could see the markings of the red lac. Nearby, on the northern part of the hill, are some astonishing shilas that appear multicolored, because that's how Chitra is, when the sun rays shine on them in different angles. The gopis would also paint wonderful pictures, also called chitra. One word for artist is chitrakari, one who makes pictures. The gopis would also paint wonderful pictures on these shilas, and therefore the shilas are called chitra shilas. One who has, can you give him darshan of the place? Give him the eyes to see. One who faithfully searches and prays on this hilltop can sometimes even see the gopis' footprints there. And here you see Gurudev sitting with all of us, all of you, on Sakigiri Parvat and Lalita Vavaha Mandap. Did you give Janardhan the eyes to see? This is Lalita's wedding pavilion, but of course it's not a real marriage. The gopis performed Lalita's wedding ceremony with 7-year-old Krishna here. One day, Lalita and the Sakis were sitting with Rasi Krishna and talking sweetly with him. Upon the indication of Srimati Radhika, Vishaka and some other Sakis tied Sri Shamasundar's yellow cloth to Lalita's veil, and all of a sudden, Rangadevi and other Sakis started to sing wedding songs. Can you make this louder? While Tungavidya and other Sakis uttered the wedding mantras. The remaining Sakis showered flowers on Krishna and Lalita. Becoming somewhat suspicious, Lalita quickly stood up and went to run away, but she couldn't move because they had the knot. The gopis surrounded the couple and with great celebration held the big festival. It's all fun and games, like kids do. Okay, you be the mother, I'll be the father. This place was named Lalita Vivahastal after this pastime. And then let's offer obeisances here and roll in the dust. Then there's a lake right here as well. Can you see it? Lalita and her Sakis used to play many kinds of water sports by bathing in this pond. Even the demigods couldn't come to this place. And then Saki Koop. Let's just walk a few feet, and here we are at Saki Koop. Koop means well. Let's offer obeisances here. It's just right nearby. Once Lalita and the other Sakis were eagerly awaiting. Oh yeah, so I just want to mention something that Gurudev said in New Braj, which I've mentioned a few times, that he's in the middle of giving his class, and he said, if after the class you talk about something else, then all this nectar that I've been giving you vanishes, it evaporates. And if you talk about what I said, then it goes in your heart and becomes a reality there. Of course, we're all tired because we've been on parikrama for so many days in India, and we had no time, not a moment for jet lag. And we've been out for many hours, but still let's try to hear and remember. So once, because they were when they are eagerly waiting for Krishna to appear, they become restless. And then they got thirsty. So they dug this well with their own hands. But just as they began to drink the sweet water, Krishna arrived, dressed in splendid manner. An astonishing exchange then took place between Krishna and the gopis, in which the gopis' mysterious words fully satisfied him. So this well is called Sakya, but it doesn't tell what the mysterious words were. Then we do have to go to Triveni Koop, the well where all the rivers combine. This well is situated some distance away, but let's offer obeisances at Saki Koop. This well, where we're offering obeisances right now, is some distance away on the right side of the path that goes from Sakigiri Parvat to Uchigam. Sri Dauji and Lalita, that is Balaram, and Lalita bathed here in this Triveni Koop. Must have been a big well if they're going to bathe. But wait a minute. It doesn't have to be, because they could take buckets and then use the buckets. Pull up the bucket. Once in the month of Magh, January, February, Lalita and the other Sakis desired to bathe here. It's the confluence of three rivers. What are they? The Ganga, the Jamuna, and the Saraswati. Sri Krishna therefore created this well for them with the tip of his flute. So the Saki Koop was made by the Sakis' hands, and this one was made by Krishna's flute. Just like he touched it, the land with the tip of his flute, and it became this big well. Right in front of them, but they still didn't think that he was God. Merely by his remembering them, the holy waters from these three places, what places? Without looking, Yamuna, Saraswati, and Ganga. Just by remembering these waters, they came. There's a lot of power in remembering Krishna, who's remembering everything else. And so the gopis could bathe there. A person easily attains the fruit of bathing in the Triveni by putting the dust surrounding the well on his head. What to speak of his tongue and heart and eyelids. What to speak of actually bathing in the water. Now we definitely want to go to one more place, which is Dehakund. Huh? Oh, is that where it was? Definitely. Basanti and I were there in person at the Dauji temple because Gurudev helped the Brijbasis in so many ways. He gave them a lot of money to resurrect the holy places. And just because of who he is, he was given the award Yuga Acharya. How about if we send that out today, that lecture? And it was an interesting lecture because all the people there, all the villagers thought that Krishna and Radha were married. And he gave his whole lecture proving that they weren't married. And if they were married, the whole Braj pastimes would be destroyed. And that's how Radharani could chastise Krishna. If he was naughty, like in Dwarka, where he is married, he could say, "Get out of my palace." If Satyabhama got too angry with him, "Get out of my palace, go back to your father." But here, they're not staying in Krishna's house. So Radharani could say, "Get out of my kunj." So Krishna is the subordinate one. So anyway, so he gave this great lecture, and they gave him this big plaque that, what's his name, Padmanabha Maharaj read. Remember, Vasanti? Can you send out that lecture and say why we're sending out this lecture? Thanks. Everybody look for it. You can see if she really did it. So Sri Narayan Bhatt was a Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya. And he built this mutt. Or he had a king built it. He took birth in the state of Madhurapatna in South India. His father, I remember Gurudev talking about him. His father, Sri Bhattaji, of the Bhatta Bhaskara Tailanga Brahmana Parampara of that place, was famous for his erudition. He became detached from the material world at the age of 14. He was especially dedicated to Srimati Radhika. And it's well known, and now we also know it, that the present deity in the Sriji temple in Varsana manifested as a result of his special prayers. She's so famous, that deity. Thousands of people are always there. And holy there is amazing. The whole place becomes colored. He had undivided faith in Braj. In his famous work, Braj Bhakti Vilas, he describes all the pastime places of Krishna in Braj in great detail. He inaugurated the enactment of Rasa Lila, which is still being carried out today. The priests and brahmanas of Sriji Temple, Varsana, take initiation from his descendants. And his main engagement was serving in the Daoji Temple in Braj, in Uchagaon. So you all can see the Daoji Temple. So can you give Janardhan the eyes to see? And now we will be ending. Oh, and you all see Deha Kund. Oh, here's what happened to Deha Kund. Deha means body. Whose body are we talking about? Yes. This Kund, way down here, it's so pretty down there, is situated to the west, just below Lalita Sthala. Once, Sri Radha and Krishna, together with the Sakis, were bathing here during a festival. As they were dressing themselves after bathing, a poor Brahmana came there and in a piteous voice addressed Krishna. I have a daughter he's poor, so when you marry your daughter, you have to give this big dowry. Even today, I have a daughter of marriageable age, but due to lack of money, I cannot offer her to a suitable husband. Therefore, please give me some money, some wealth. Krishna thought, well, the only wealth that I have is what? Radha. But for her, I possess nothing else of value. So he told the Brahmana, I want to give you my entire fortune, not just a little money. He then pointed towards Sri Radha and said, she is my entire property and wealth. Please accept her. Oh no, I already have the problem of one daughter that's marriageable, and now I have two. He began to beat his head in sadness. This is disastrous for me. What should I do now? So the Brahmana only wanted gold, and Krishna knew this. So he put Radhika on one side of the scale, and he put her weight in gold on the other side of the scale. Then he gave all the gold to the Brahmana, and he was very happy. He went off. Radhika was also happy because it relieved her of the anxiety of going to the Brahman's house. So there, back at his house, he completed the marriage of his daughter, but he actually got cheated. It is also said that once a wealthy person was suffering severely from leprosy. He came here, bathed in this kund, and donated a lot of gold to qualified brahmanas, and after some time his disease left. Okay. Oh, but listen, on this very bank, on this very, very bank, is Beni Shankar Mahadev, whom the gopis installed with their own hands. He who bathes in this kund with faith and takes darshan of Beni Shankar, can you see him? There he is. Gets the same result as bathing in the confluence at Triveni. All his problems are eliminated. How many here of you 100 devotees sitting here want your problems to be eliminated? Me too. And he attains pure bhakti. I mean, that's pretty major. That's really the mercy of Mahadev, Beni Shankar. So Uchagaon ki jai. Saki Giri Parvat ki jai. Triveni Kund ki jai. Saki Kup ki jai. Triveni Kup ki jai. Daoji Temple ki jai. Gurudev incarnated the Yugacharya ki jai. Lalita Vivaha Stala ki jai. Uchagaon ki jai. Where else did we go? Deha Pishalani, Kund ki jai. Did we say Deha Kund ki jai? And that's it. That's it.